The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Barangay election preparations are in full swing throughout the country. Let's check out how things are going over in Navotas with mobile journalist Kyla Macantan live from Navotas. Good morning, Kyla.
Good morning, Riza.
Kyla,
Okay, sa ngayon dito,
go ahead.
yes. Dito sa Navotas City, naikot natin simula kaninang alas 7 ng umaga. Wala na masyadong mga residente dito sa labas. Mukhang napagod na sa huling araw ng kampanya kahapon pero payapa. Ganito nila dinidiskubre itong eleksyon simula sa kampanya dito sa syudad. Riza.
Kyla, in terms of security, visible na ba yung police presence dyan?
Oo, Riza, tama. Bantay sarado na ng mga otoridad itong buong syudad sa mga barangay pangalang busy na yung mga substations. Kita-kita na yung mga deployed na mga pulis. Pati dito sa City Hall, ganun din yung mga sundalo at pulis kanina kasi nasaksihan natin na nilalabas na yung mga ballot boxes papunta doon sa mga precincts at bantay sarado talaga ng seguridad itong mga kakailanganin para sa botohan bukas.
Kyla, may na-report na kaso ng vote buying there in Navotas. Ano na yung latest doon?
Actually, dito nangyari sa loob ng Navotas City, pero yung involved na kandidato na tumatakbo sa pagka-chairman at yung mga botante, mga residente ng Malabon City. So, yun nga ang ipinagpapasalamat ng Navotas City Police Station dahil kahit pa walang mga insidente na karahasan o anumang issue pagdating sa kanilang eleksyon, patuloy yung kanilang pagpapaigting ng police visibility. Kaya nasaktuhan nila ayun nga na-report sa kanila na vote buying. Sa ngayon, nasa kustodiya na nila yung mga involved. Hindi pa lang natin pwede i-disclose yung kanilang pagkakakilanlan. Pero sinisiguro naman nila na patuloy ang kanilang pag-iimbestiga dito sa insidente. Liza.
At Kyla, yung mga voting precincts dyan, handa na para bukas?
Kanina nakausap natin yung mga nasa barangay, sabi nila kaninang 10 a.m. magsa-start pa lang daw sila ng meeting kasi inaantay din nila yung mga personnel from COMELEC. Pero dahil naman daw kasama nila yung mga tao from COMELEC, sinusiguro nila na magiging maayos yung kanilang paghahanda para sa botohan bukas.
Alright, maraming salamat. Thank you. That was mobile journalist Kyla Macantan. Meanwhile, more and more teachers have deferred from serving as electoral board officers in Cotabato. 21 teachers and even one school principal have withdrawn from election day duties after the shooting incident last Monday. Overall, more than 200 teachers have decided not to serve this Monday out of fear for their safety. Nearly 1,000 barangays in the Bangsamoro region have been classified as areas of grave concern due to history of political violence.
Hindi namin alam kung ano ang magiging eventualities na mangyayari before, during, and after the election. And we are always after sa safety at security namin.
Gusto namin sana kung kami yung teacher, kami yung magsaserve as electoral board. Ang problema kasi sir, napupunta ako sa ibang barangay, so ibang school na hindi safe para sa akin, na hindi ako familiar.
Now, according to the province's election officer, teachers will not be forced to serve. They can also source manpower from the private schools and government agencies if necessary. Last year, police officers manned voting precincts with a lack of teachers on duty.
Hindi po natin sila pwedeng pilitin. As per rules naman po sir, kapag po wala na po yung teachers, pwede na yung mga public school teachers, pwede po kaming maglagay ng electoral boards like yung mga private school teachers, yung mga from national government agencies, pwede po namin yan i-fill up doon po sa kulang.
Meanwhile, the Bangsamoro police are focused on cracking down on unregistered firearms. According to their estimates, more than 23,000 loose firearms are being circulated in the region.
We step up our operations against loose firearms by applying search warrants, warrant of arrest. So these firearms are from the hands of the different local elements and also from the different local terrorist groups and also from the peace-inclined armed groups, yung mga PIAGs, diba? Which is still subject for undergoing decommissioning program. So, and also, it contributes also the culture of BRIDO or public feuds.
So, how does vote counting work this coming barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections? Let's find out in this report.
Voting for the barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections ends at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on October 30. After that comes the crucial process of counting the votes. 3 barangays will conduct automated elections for the first time. These are Barangay Pasong Tamo in Quezon City and Barangays Paliparan 3 and Zone 3 in Dasmariñas, Cavite. Meanwhile, the rest of the country will conduct manual elections. Before the actual counting, the Board of Election Inspectors will conduct an initial check of the ballots without unfolding them. This is to ensure that there are no duplicate ballots and that the number of voters match the number of ballots. Afterwards, the ballots will be opened and grouped into piles of 100. The chairman will then read the names of candidates and the position they were voted for, marking each counted ballot. These votes will be tallied and recorded in the returns. When only a first name or last name is written on the ballot, it will still be counted as long as there are no other candidates with the same name. However, if there are candidates with the same first or last name and one of them is an incumbent, the vote will go to the incumbent. A ballot with 2 or more last names of different candidates is considered invalid unless one of the surnames is the name of an incumbent. In that case, the vote counts for the incumbent. Ballots with nicknames or terms of affection are valid if accompanied by the candidate's first name or surname. Ballots that contain only initials or don't sufficiently identify the candidate are considered stray votes, but this doesn't invalidate the entire ballot. Likewise, votes for disqualified candidates are also considered stray votes, and just the same, this does not invalidate the ballot. However, any ballot that clearly appears to have been filled out by 2 different persons is totally null and void. In case of discrepancies between the tally and election returns, a recount will be conducted. All counted ballots are placed in an envelope, sealed and stored in the compartment of valid ballots. Election inspectors must prepare 6 copies of the return, which will be given to the City or Municipal Board of Canvassers, the election registrar, and the COMELEC. Once the election returns are completed, the chairman of the election inspectors will publicly announce the total votes each candidate received in the polling place. They will also issue certificates of the number of votes received by the candidates. Despite the manual conduct of this year's BSK elections in most localities, COMELEC Chairman George Garcia is optimistic that it won't take long before the winners are proclaimed.
Pag automated, mga bandang 6 o'clock, may proclamation at po doon. Wala po itong transmission ng results sapagkat wala naman po itatransmit ng result electronically. Ang mangyayari po, pagkatapos ang pagbilang, yung po SD cards ng mga makina ay dadalhin po doon kung saan ang canvassing area, manual uploading po ang tawag doon. Sasama-samahin ng mga boto at yun ang mag-print at magiging basihan. Samantala, pag po manual election, baka po abutin tayo ng 9 hanggang 10 o'clock yung mismong proklamasyon.
Mobile journalist Francis Sorsho, We Are One News.
Catch our special coverage of the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections on Monday, October 30, beginning 6:30 in the morning. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Police officers raided an illegal pogo building near Pasay City Hall, which they discovered to be a sex den. Now, during the operatives' inspection, they came across rooms complete with beds and showers. There was another room they referred to as the aquarium, where customers supposedly pick women. Most of the patrons were allegedly Chinese nationals. Authorities arrested 500 employees, but they are still working on identifying who runs and owns the operation. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla said Filipinos may also have a hand in the operations, but mostly they are victims.
Filipino co-operators, pero definitely may victims tayong Pilipina na kasama sila sa activities na sa trafficking. Sila yung traffic persons, no? Mga Pilipina. And kung nakita niyo yung aquarium, ang kasya rin mga 70 to 80 women ang kasya sa aquarium. Ang ibig sabihin, it's a large-scale operation.
Remulla is also looking to investigate local officials possibly involved in the illegal pogo operation.
We will have to examine the records. I mean, ano yan eh? We will conduct interviews and the SWD will be with us. DFA, we will have interpreters, immigration is here, and our women's desk trends sa IACAT, women's desk, lahat yan magtutulong-tulong para mailabas ang katotohanan tungkol sa lugar dito.
More Filipinos escaping the war in Israel are set to return home to the Philippines. The government is getting ready to bring home 60 OFWs from Israel who will make up for the fourth batch of repatriates. The latest batch is composed of 32 hotel workers and 28 caregivers. Dozens of OFWs have been repatriated in recent weeks. Close to 200 have requested help in coming home. Authorities are also working to accommodate some 144 Filipinos who have requested repatriation from Lebanon as spillover from the Israel-Hamas conflict hits the country.
We're looking at the possibility of this coming week na meron ng maililikas from there, and we are working on the rest in the coming week. So as soon as possible time tayo sa Lebanon.
In other news, Hollywood actor Matthew Perry was found dead this morning in Los Angeles. He was 54. Perry became famous in the 90s for playing Chandler Bing on the hit US TV show Friends. Now, the Los Angeles Times reports that Perry died after apparently drowning in a hot tub in his LA home. There was no sign of foul play, and authorities are set to confirm his cause of death at a later time. Perry had previously been in and out of rehab as he struggled with addiction to painkillers and alcohol, but he appeared to be clean before his death. Now, apart from Friends, Perry also starred in a series of US shows and movies like Beverly Hills 90210 and A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon. He also wrote a memoir published in 2022. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.